Hello, you guys. Welcome back to the channel. Happy Feminine Friday. Welcome back. I know it's been a little minute. I know I said that in my last video. I've just literally been all over the place in more ways than I would have wanted to, for sure. But I am back better than ever. And this time I wish I could say, that I have less going on. That is far from the truth. If anything, I have more. But now I have a better feel of how to navigate my schedule and making sure that I'm consistent to give you guys good, amazing content. But with that being said, today I wanted to talk to you guys about building an intentional, soft life and what that may look like. For everyone, it's going to look different, and depending on the phase that you are in life, is definitely going to play out differently. So we'll get into that in today's video. We'll get into what I think a soft life looks like depending on the stage that you're in. I'll get into what specific stage I'm in life and how I'm intentionally trying to build what we would consider a quote-unquote soft life during this phase in life, and what I'm hoping for. And I just wanted to share with you guys, I guess, like certain things that are personally helping me and hopefully will help you. So before we get into today's video, do remember to subscribe to the channel, like the video, turn on your post notifications, and do comment below if there's anything in this video that resonated with you, or if there's anything that I didn't cover in this video that you guys want to get my perspective on. I think there's a lot of things that we can talk about when it comes to a soft life, and I don't think I'm going to cover them all, but I do want to just open the conversation up to you guys so you guys can have a better understanding of what I think works, at least for me personally in this phase, and what I think I'm going to consider moving forward and what I want to build towards and what the end goal is for me. But without further ado, let's get into today's video. Okay. So like I say in every video, where do I start? Kidding. So let's start with what a soft life is, because I think that people have that overall leisure life, doing what you want, when you want, how you want it. I think that's what a soft life obviously ultimately for people looks like. And I want to say that just because you're in a specific phase in your life does not mean that you can't have a soft life, or you can't go about life gently and intentionally and kind of navigate through it the way you want it. I think that there's a way to go about it. Like, there's a way to build and structure a life around when you're in a rebuilding phase, when you're starting over, when you're more established, and you're coming out of your, I guess, grinding phase, and you're more in okay, things are settled, versus when you're in a very stable phase and you're in your abundance phase, and so on and so forth. I think that what a soft life may look like in those different phases in life are definitely going to be different. And for me personally, the phase that I'm in, as you guys know, is a rebuilding phase, and it's starting over. So starting over and intentionally having a soft life is going to look a lot different from when I'm in a place of more stability, right? I'm going to have more time, a leisure time. I'm going to have more ability to maybe take intentional time to do more things that I want than things that are required of me. But just because I am in a rebuilding phase in life does not mean that I can't have what people would consider a soft life. And what that looks like is more just being intentional about your time and intentional about knowing who you are and what you like and working around that. And what I mean by that, in layman's terms, is just there are things that are going to be required of you in your rebuilding phase. You're going to have to get up at certain times. You're going to have more of a productive kind of schedule in order to establish certain things that will bring you stability, right? So whether you're starting a business, whether you're starting a new job, whether you're starting your fitness journey, whatever the case may be, there needs to be a foundation. You need to set your foundation, and that foundation is set based off of the things that you do on a daily basis. And I know that sounds pretty obvious, but you'd be pretty surprised how some people don't even know where to start to have a more calmer life, a more structured life, even in a rebuilding phase. And for me personally, just to give you guys an example of what I mean, is, for example, I just came from a trip. And that trip technically wasn't a holiday. It wasn't a vacation. It was a trip that I needed to, let's just say, handle some personal business matters. And there was things that were required of me, talking to advisors, talking to different people, going to different things, without saying too much, just to, I guess, finalize certain things that were required of me to do and handle. Excuse me. And excuse me if I sound a little bit stuffed. I'm just back on the East Coast, and with the weather differences and transitions, I'm a little bit under the weather, but we're here. But back to what I was saying. So even though I took this trip and it was more of a business thing, there were still moments, whether within the way that I was handling business or within the way that I was handling certain things, or even times when my time wasn't required to be there handling something, I was very intentional of what I did, how I did it, what I said, how I said it, and what I put my energy into and what I did not. So for example, when I was not required to be doing something, and my time was just my own, I intentionally went to lagoons, went to beautiful estates, toured beautiful homes, went into certain environments that brought me so much joy and peace and tranquility. I love, going to see old homes. I love seeing estates. I love traveling. I love being one with nature. I love seeing the beauty of God's creation. I love taking intentional time, maybe to go to the spa, maybe to go to a lagoon, whatever the case may be. That's something that I do for me. And it helps me, one, be at peace. It helps me enjoy the moment. It helps me live in the moment. And it brings me so much inspiration and joy to be around that kind of environment. But also when I was handling certain business matters too, the way that I would approach certain topics, the way that I would talk to certain people, or even handle challenges, I was very intentional of how I spoke. I was very intentional of how I presented myself. And to make sure that the environment was set in order for it to be, one, peaceful, functional, and productive, and fruitful, most importantly. Having a soft life is basically, for me, especially in the rebuilding phase, is how you go about things and the outcome of the things that you're doing. Are they more fruitful? Are they providing you peace? Are they providing you prosperity? And if they're not, then I don't think that is contributing to your happiness and your well-being overall. So I don't think that it's that. I think that then maybe you should reevaluate the things that you're doing, the things that you're saying, and what you're intentionally putting your time into, whether if it's required of you or whether if it's something that you're doing in your own time. And I think it's really important for people in general, men and women, to sit with yourself and know what you like. Sit with yourself and take out intentional time for yourself. But then also be mindful of, just because you have moments of yourself, have moments to yourself, it does not actually, your soft life doesn't stop just because now you're in business mode. Your soft life doesn't stop just because now there is something required of you that maybe you don't want to do, or maybe or maybe of something that you have to do to push whatever business, whatever work, or whatever goal that you have along. And I think that's really important. I think a lot of people think soft life is more of the exterior things that you see, right? This person going on vacation, this person's waking up when they want to. And although those things can contribute to it, it starts within. Like, are you at peace with yourself? Are you soft with yourself? Are you gentle with yourself? Are you considering yourself on the things that you like, the things that you don't like, the things that are required of you versus the things that are not required of you? And emphasizing on like what you want and what's required of you and what's not required of you is very, very important, because sometimes we feed energy into things that don't necessarily require anything from us. We're just feeding into maybe something that we want that's not really for us. and or maybe we're feeding into something that is required of us. I mean, that seems to be required of us, but it's not really required of us. And I was watching yesterday on my way traveling back home. I was watching this podcast. Shout out to Diary of a CEO. I love that podcast. Stephen Bartlett is amazing. The people he interview are great. And this one particular interview, I can't remember the gentleman's name, but he was a well-known man, well-established in his field, I believe in security. And they got into like kind of like life advice and personal advice. And there was something that was said during that podcast that definitely resonated with me. And I know I'm going to butcher this a little bit, but it was about him giving advice on, if he had to give advice to his children, what would it be? And one of the things that he said, he gave 3, but one of the things that really resonated with me is not pushing upstream, but going downstream. And at first, when you hear that, it's just like, what? Like, what are you talking about? Like, old chap, like, what's going on there? But I think what I took from it, and as they explained it, is more so like, are you pushing against the tides of something that's resisting you? Are you pushing against something that technically isn't for you? Or are you going downstream and going with the flow of life? And just because you're flowing in life doesn't mean that it's not going to be hard. Doesn't mean that's not going to be scary. Flowing with the tides and flowing with the waves is scary. Like, I've never surfed before, but going to the beach, yeah. Like, going to the beach, swimming in the rivers, like, you feel the motion in the water, and sometimes it can be very aggressive when you're going downstream. But the difference between going upstream versus going downstream is that there's no resistance. There's no pushing against what you're kind of like the flow that you're moving. It's moving with you. And even though it may be carrying you in times that are more harsh, maybe it be carrying you in times where a little bit more gentle, it's still flowing with you. Versus going upstream, you're intentionally like pushing yourself against the waves, pushing yourself against something that is resisting you. And sometimes we need to step back and understand, like, why am I intentionally pushing towards something that isn't for me, or doesn't want me, or isn't flowing with me? Why am I searching for a harder path in life instead of aligning with the things that already flow with me? And the things that already flow with you, if you took that time for yourself, you'll know that it's things that make you happy or things that you enjoy. And I know sometimes it's a hard pill to swallow, especially when the thing that you're maybe pushing against is a big aspiration that you have in business, a love interest, or anything else that basically you thought that you think that you want. And maybe you do want it, but maybe the way you're going about it is not the path that you should take, or maybe the person that you're going after is not the path that you can take. And understanding, what do you really want? Do you want, if it's a relationship, is the relationship the goal? Is it the person that's the goal? What do you actually want? And understanding what is causing that resistance in life to make your life harder, and to take away what essentially would bring out the softness in you as you navigate this phase in life. And that's something that when I was away, that I thought about very intentionally. And even when I'm thinking about making videos, creating content, coming up with ideas for content, but also navigating the day-to-day that I have to do, and navigating building a business, and navigating starting over, and navigating my personal things that I have to do, and personal matters that I have to tend to, and other matters that I have to tend to. I am very much trying to be intentional about things. And it's sometimes thinking about, for me at least, I needed to sit down and think about, like, what is causing resistance or the inability for me to accomplish my goals, and what is it that I really want, and being realistic with reality, and overall just understanding that what's truly going to bring fulfillment and happiness, though it may not be easy, it's not going to resist you, and it's not going to cause you to do things harder, but it's also you being mindful of yourself, you being mindful of how you go about things, and you being mindful of overall the life that you're building. And I think that's incorporating those things are what builds a soft life, not just am I working hard enough so I can have time later on, am I working hard enough so I have enough money to do what I want, am I working hard, no, those are components. But if you are always on go, 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 and it's fine to be on go, 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 but if you're on go, 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 and you have a hard mindset, what makes you think that when you have leisure, that you're going to have the ability to be soft, kind, cool, and collected? You're not. So it starts within. So taking that time and understanding for me that this part of my life is helping me better understand what the next phase of my life looks like when I do have time for more leisure, when I do have time to do the things that I want more and move around more, what that looks like and how I'm gonna be and how I'm gonna present myself, because those things are important. I think they're more important than people realize. But either way, I wanted to share with you guys just a little bit about, how I am intentionally building what we would consider a soft life. And I hope that you guys took the key things that I was trying to put out there, which is start from the inside, start from wherever you are, whether you're rebuilding, whether you're established, whether you're more in an abundance phase in life. Start from the inside. Know what you want, know how you want to go about it, know how you want to be perceived, and intentionally do stuff each and every day to align with that. So it starts there. I know I didn't touch on everything of what a soft life looks like, or even how to go about it. I just basically generalize what I think works. And and for me, it's just a good starting point of things to think about, especially when you're in a certain phase in life or whatever phase you are in life. So I hope that this video helped with you guys. I hope this video was a blessing to you guys. I will see you guys on Sunday for our Sacred Sunday. Remember, we drop content every Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And now that I have a good gist of my schedule and a good gist of everything, I'll make sure that we'll be dropping content consistently every single week. So I'll see you guys in my next video. Remember, do subscribe to the channel. So bye.